Hello everyone, my name is Ashley and this is the second workshop of the series. I do hope you had time to to go through the first workshop, and I'm going to share my screen with you just to start the second workshop. Right, so this second workshop is about literature review, and the idea is to explain how to write the literature review, but I believe that before we get into the how, we need to explain the why uh, of literature review. Or why do we need to have a literature review or to go through this particular section of our dissertation? Like I've said, my name is Ashley, and I'm the head of School of Foundation Education at Middlesex University, and I'm also the lead for CEMASTEL, the Center for Mathematics and Statistics Teaching and Learning. Before I start, I'd like to mention a couple of things. This is something that we really encourage students that we have a lot of materials on YouTube, and I personally use one from Grad Coach um, to prepare materials for my students or for workshops. So this is a link that you can use as well. And um, second online resource that you can use would be through the semester website. The website is given to you, and you will have a plethora of a workshop there. And please take some time and go through them and see which one can help you beside the one that we are uploading for you. Right. So what exactly is the functionality literature review? So like I've said, uh, before we talk about how to write a literature review, we need to understand why we need a literature review. Right. So it is the first one is demonstrate your knowledge. It is one, I guess, it is one of the most important functions of literature review. Um, the purpose here, the objective here is for you to demonstrate that you have a good knowledge, a good understanding of the research around your topic. And the research here, I mean, the research that has already been done and published by good, reliable journals, and what are the authors saying about your topic, the limitations, and uh, and also what can be done with the type of research which is connected to your topic. So this is the first one that we expect from you guys is to really understand the area of your research. The second one is justifying the gap in the research or bridging the gap in the research of connected to your topic. So um, you can show that there is a need to do research um, based on the articles and books that you've read. Now, sometimes students feel that this is a little bit challenging, and the reason is what they believe is that if experts covered everything in the particular area, then how would students find gaps? But I think this is kind of missing the point here, and we always have something interesting and unique to say about our research. So my own research is about mass education in higher education, and I can always find the gap, even though there are hundreds of experts who've already written articles on the particular area. And the way I can find gaps would be, for example, if I'm doing my research at Middlesex University. So the gap here would be a British university in an African country. Another gap could be that I'm doing research in math education, which has been widely researched upon. But here we have, let's say, a higher education institution where there is about 50% international and 50% local student. Another gap could be that Middlesex University is in an African country where most of the students are French-speaking students. So you see, there's always something unique about about our research. My research is not just about maths education. My research is about maths education in Africa, in a higher education institution where there is 50% local and international student, um, where there's French speaking people, and we are trying to educate them in English. So as you can see, you can easily find something which is pretty unique to your research, and hence justify the gap in the research that you are trying to undertake. The third one um, is for those who are trying to build a theory out of their research, um, or they're trying to come up with a conceptual model. And you can use a lot of resources that you've come across in the literature review to build those models, to build or to come up with those theories. And the last one is is inform the methodologies. That is, uh, it is for you to build a foundation of methodologies. That is, they can use qualitative or quantitative methods. For example, you might start thinking about what type of questions you might have for your focus group, or for your interviews, or for your questionnaires, and so on. And you may also find a set of questions already designed for you, and that you can use from some article, from some literature, and adapt or customize with reasons, um, for your own personal research. So this is basically uh, why um, we want to get into literature review and so on. Now, moving on, how do we write a literature review? It's in 3 steps. Briefly, because I will have to explain those steps in further details. Briefly, sorry, excuse me, I'm just checking if I'm recording. Yeah, I am recording. So briefly, the first step is to find relevant research based on your topic, connected to your topic. I will elaborate more in a few minutes. The second step is to log, catalog, and synthesize your research. And the third one is, at the end, the last part of your research journey would be to outline and write up your dissertation, your thesis, or your project, and so on. So let's start with the first one. That is um, that is to find the relevant research. There are 4 ways of doing this, and I'm going to quickly go through them and show you. Um, the first one is to use Google Scholar. I didn't say Google search engine, I said Google Scholar, where this is a part of Google where they focus mostly on academic publications, where you can get all whatever you want, whatever you need in terms of your research. So I'm just gonna quickly show you where it is. So just bear with me. So that's your browser, and I mean, I've got mine bookmarked here. So as you can see, the link is scholar.google.com, and you can just go on that particular link, and it will take you on the Google Scholar website. Now you can try to find articles based connected to your topic here. So for example, if I were to find something on let's say math education, uh, in secondary school, let's say, so I would write mathematics education in secondary schools, right? So what you see here um, would be academic articles, books and journals, and so on, where you can retrieve data, you can retrieve those articles and so on. You can customize your range. That is, if you want the most recent articles, you can always come here, and you want to, let's say you want to find articles, let's say between 2018 to 2024, and then you can search those articles. You can download them and so on and so forth. I'll talk a little bit more about the download and how do we save them in a few minutes. You can also click on site where you can get the citations of those particular articles. Now, I hope you know that uh, we have a we have a huge database of articles, but I'm going to speak about it on the second point right now. I'm just showing you Google Scholar. So this would be where you can get uh, new articles or books that would be available. The second one, let me go back on my slide here. The second one would be the University Online Library. Um, Hopefully you know where to go. So if you go on Middlesex website, which I'm doing here on UniHub, I believe that you've done this before, you know where to go. And let's just see if I need to log in. It might take a while. No, I've already logged in here. So this is my staff profile, but for student, you'll have something similar where, as you can see, scrolling down, you can see library search here. So if you click on library search, and also here, you will be required to log in. And yeah, you will be required to log in, but I'm just going to bypass this for the time being so that we don't waste time. And you can, no, I think we need to log in so that I can show you how to download. So briefly, very quickly, I'm just going to try and do this. So please bear with me. I'm logged in here. So for example, I'm looking for a book, let's say Cresswell, right? A book written by Cresswell. So, um, so you get everything here. It just, yeah, let me just put one S. I can't really remember the Cresswell that I'm looking for. I think there's one L, one S, sorry. No, I'm pretty sure it's two S. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Or I can just find an article by, let's say, my Ulash, and you will get those articles available for you to download. So, or what you can do is click on available online, and it will take you to the article where you can download. Um, right, so it's here. So you can click on it, and you might have to log in again. There you go. You might have to log in using your Middlesex credentials, and it will take you to the journal where the paper has been published. So that's easy. You have a lot of resources here in terms of, you can click on this and get the citation done for you and so on. All right, so there you go. No, that's not the one. All right. Okay, so citations on that particular paper, my apologies, and you can download the PDF and so on. So that's the first way of, the second way of downloading or getting access to academic journals or books and so on. The third one is snowballing. Let me just explain this through an example. So let's assume that you are reading one paper. I'm just gonna take an arbitrary paper here. So let's take another one. Let's take this paper here, right? So we have this paper. So snowballing would mean that if you scroll down, let's say you're reading this paper and it's somehow very relevant to your research, and what you might want to do is scroll down completely to the reference section. Yeah, yeah. And from here, you can read other articles that this particular or these particular authors have relied upon to write their own paper. So this is what snowballing mean, and it's something that you can think about. It's something that you can start with, and then create a database of articles and so on. So these would be one interesting way of getting to other connected articles. Now let's move on to the final one, which is which is related dissertation. Now, this is something which your library, so here at Middlesex University Mauritius, our library would have for previous dissertations on, on similar topics, and you can rely on those dissertations to have an idea about what has been done in terms of literature. So these would be available in the library, and you might want to just go and discuss this with the people there, and they will try to help you and guide you. That was the first step. The second step. So briefly, a summary of what we've just discussed. Please remember the website for Google Scholar, then, the library resources, UniHub, you know where to get them and download them, or you can also go to the library and talk to our colleagues there, and they'll help you. For snowballing reference, again, this would be in the reference list of each article, but you might also want to meet the LET team, the Learning Enhancement team, in the library. That's where they are sat, and they can guide you about this. Relevant dissertation, again, we have a stack of former dissertations where which you can peruse, which you can read, um, so that you have an idea about the literature that has been covered before. Now, step number 2, it becomes a little bit very more technical here. Log the reference information. So I will try to explain what it means. Catalog all relevant articles. And the third one would be to digest and synthesize. Now, let's start with the first one. Let's start with the first one, which is log all your resources into reference software. Now, we are lucky at Middlesex where we have at least 2, if not more, reference management software. That is a software, an app or software that you can use and store all the papers and books that you've downloaded. And some of them are very user friendly. Some of them would go to an extent of providing you a lot of things in terms of materials for your research. So for the sake of this workshop, I'm going to try 2 only. There's lots more. Again, you will find these details on UniHub, but I'm going to try and show you 2 of them, Mendeley and RefWorks, just to show you how these things work. But that's very brief. If you want to know how these software or online resources work, because we're going to do it online, I'm not going to download the app. I do have the app on my laptop, but let's just say you can't and you want to use the online version. That's pretty easy. But in case you need more information on how to use them or other platforms, then I'm pretty sure your lecturers or the library colleagues will be able to guide you here. So the first one is Mendeley. Now, I personally use Mendeley a lot. So I'm gonna close my, I think I've already done it, but I'm gonna ignore my Mendeley version and try to start from scratch and show you how to proceed. So what you can do, let's say we have no idea what to do and where to go on UniHub. So it's all right, it's okay. What you can do here is just write Mendeley Middlesex. Right, so let's see what happens. So it takes us, the first one takes us to Middlesex page. If I click on it, now it will ask you to log in. I'm not too sure whether it will ask me now because I've already logged in on UniHub. I guess it's not going to ask me, right? So it will take you to this page. If you click on Mendeley, as you can see, we have Zotero as well, and so on. I'm just going to talk about Mendeley now. So click on Mendeley and accept all cookies, sign in. I reckon mine should be, no, it's not. So I'm going to delete this, right? So I'm going to sign via my organization. I'm going to write either my Middlesex University or directly my email, UK email. So for Middlesex, so MDX at .ac.uk, it should be able to detect my university, which is Middlesex University. Right after confirmation, it will take me um, to the platform, Mendeley platform. So this is free for you to use because it's been provided by Middlesex University. And I'm just going to let it load up a little bit. So you're going to find something. By the way, guys, you can also download the app uh, for Mendeley on your desktop or laptop. So first step is you can search the articles here, but first step is click on library, and that's where you're gonna have, or you can see my own database of downloaded articles. That's just one thing. Yeah, that's my references. So let's assume that you're using it for the first time. You can create a new collection. So let me just move my cursor away. So here you can create a new collection. So I'm going to call it workshop 2, right? So I'm going to go on that. As you can see, it's blank now, and I'm going to drag and drop an article here. So you can, I'm just gonna, yeah, we can do it from here. Add new, import from computer, or you could have dragged and drop, but let's do it this way. And I'm going to drag um, a paper here, the one that we've just seen. So this one, and it's going to upload it. And let's just hope it shows me the information I need. Right, there you go. So the paper could have been dragged and dropped here. The paper could have been added here. But if you double click on it, it opens up the paper as long as you don't move it away from your original folder, right? So then it won't be able to find it. So I've just double clicked on it and it will take a moment. You can also download it. So I'm just going to cancel this. It may take a moment for all the details to appear. So for the time being, what I can do, I need to move back a little bit. So yeah, let's come back here. I'll let you figure out how to open it here. It's easy, just double click and wait. I'll show you what else we can do, which is for me very handy. If I right click, I can look at the references or the style of referencing that we have here. Now, I personally use something called BibTeX and LaTeX citation. These are the two things that I use. It's a little bit advanced in terms of um, um, r- the formatting of my reference section. But anyway, you can click on this and let me open something like Notepad, whatever. So you can paste and you will get all the details of your reference. So this is what you can copy and paste in your dissertation. A little bit a word of caution here. You need to know the style of referencing you're using, and this can be set up in the settings. So maybe a bit too early to discuss this. I believe your lecturer will explain, but this is just me telling you that there's a couple of platforms. The one that we are looking at is Mendeley, or that you can use and store your articles. I'm going to try another one, which is, let me go back here. I'm going to try another one, which is RefWorks. So again, just like we did in Mendeley, I'm going to write RefWorks Middlesex. Right, again, it will take you to Middlesex page, and I think I've already shown you that before. Let me just close these things. Right, so RefWork. Okay, so you can set up an account here. I'm just gonna quickly do it. So I already have an account, and let's start with having my Middlesex email. Yours will look slightly different to this one, right? Okay, it detects. Okay, it detects. Oh dear, I thought I had already registered. don't, okay, let me just use this one. My apologies. I want to do this one. So I'm going to log in using my Middlesex account instead of creating a new account. So it's detecting that I'm a Middlesex student and I've already logged in on UniHub. So I don't think I don't think I'm going to need to uh, put further details. There you go. So this is the platform again. You can come here, my folders, and you can create a new folder. So for example, I'm going to write workshop 2, right? So once I come here, I can drag and drop, or I can click add here. So let's click add and see, upload document, and there you go. Let's try this one. So this is another platform, RefWorks, where you can store your documents. Now I'm going to let it load up so that you can see the difference, or you know, the perks that RefWorks will provide. It might take a while due to the size of the file, and yeah. Okay, so while it's loading up, so this is another platform, just like we did in Mendeley. This is another platform, and once it's been uploaded, you have all the details here. So I might just click on it and create bibliography um, here, and it gives you the bibliography depending on the style that you've chosen. So you have few style, few referencing style, which again will I'm pretty sure your lecturer will be able to confirm which one you're using. I suppose IT student might use IEEE. So let's try this one, but do confirm this with your lecturers, and this is already set up for you, right? So copy and paste into your dissertation or project, right? So I'm gonna come out of this now. We've talked about Mendeley and we've talked about RefWorks. So I'm just going to close some of my tabs and see. Right. So this is a summary. The next one was about cataloging your work. Now, what does that mean? It means that you have a simple file where you've stored all the details of your articles. Now, someone can argue that Mendeley and RefWorks doing this, but you might want to be a little bit more hands-on on this particular one. And the reason is that it makes it easy for you to remember where you've kept your files and what your documents about, and so on and so forth. So let's spend some time here building a literature catalog in Excel. It could be in Microsoft Word, it could be anything. It's up to you. There might be some template available online. So I'm just going to show you what I mean here. So the one that I've downloaded from the internet is this, right? So a simple file where you're going to indicate certain things that's pertinent to your research. So first of all, maybe you can mention where the document's been or the PDF files been saved. That's a one-off thing that you have to do. Excuse me. Then, for example, the file name, which is work underscore satisfaction and so on .pdf, the author, the article title, and so on and so forth. I think they are pretty obvious to understand. The type of methodological philosophy, which is quantitative in this case. What exactly the method was, Pearson correlation. I don't want to discuss the meaning of this right now, but it's a research method. Some remarks about about the article, and maybe I said maybe for a reason. So maybe what you need is a spot where you can write brief points on the findings. Now I said maybe because there's no specific standard template. It's what you feel is important as something to remember. That's what you need. That's what you need to design. This is the one that I've downloaded. I find this a little bit limited. I'm going to share one that I've done for myself, but I didn't populate it. So for example, this one is something that I've I believe would help me, but it would help me doesn't mean that it would work for you. So what I want you to start thinking about is what are the information you might want to know, or to to look at uh, uh, on an Excel sheet in terms of details of the papers you've downloaded. Now, the first one is ID. I like to have an ID. So, for example, ID would be, let me show you quickly. So, ID can be there. So, in this folder, I have all my articles, which I've put in subfolders. So, number one is anxiety. So, my research is on mass education. So, number one is the student who are anxious, or staff who are anxious. So anxiety would be there. The second one is the attitude towards maths. The third one is the data collection process, and so on and so forth. So for example, let's take this paper here, the first paper on anxiety, Ashcroft and Moore. So what I could do is first an ID. So it was in folder number one, as you can see, 01 anxiety. I'm not going to write 01 anxiety. I might just write 01. And it was in his, yeah, it was, let's say, Ashcroft.Moore. So I might just write this here as an ID next to 01. So it just helps me locate my documents. Then the year it was published. So let me quickly open the first one. I think it was a 2007 or 9 paper. 2009 paper. There you go. So 2009, and written by Ashcroft, sorry, and Moore. And the title, clearly you can copy and paste. Just an example, briefly, quickly, though, that's something that you might want to do. The referencing, as you've seen earlier in Mendeley or RefWork, you can copy and paste those references here. Type of resources, you might just say online, you might just say PDF, stuff like this is up to you to make use of this template, but customize it to the way you feel comfortable with, not to the way that I'm discussing or I'm trying to guide you on, because what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. You might want you might just want to write a few bullet points here on the abstract, the keywords, the purpose and objective of that particular article, the research question, and so on and so forth. So that's, maybe I will try to upload this document on Semester website next to this workshop, so that if you need it, you can use it. But like I've said, please customize, add, delete, whatever, because this works for me, it doesn't mean that it should work for you. Right, so moving on. Right, so we've talked about the first two posts. The third one is to step back uh, and digest what you've done. Think about what you've read and you're trying to achieve, trying to connect the dots. That's what step back, zoom out, and synthesize mean. It means that you need to reflect on what you've read, and how one paper connects to the other paper, how one set of findings connect to another set of findings, and start thinking and reflecting about this. A lot of students try to skip this part because of the excitement of completing the dissertation or the research, and in that excitement, students try to rush. But please do take a while and think about what you've read, and how is that connected to your own personal research, which part should be rejected, where can whatever you've read, where can it take you to, and so on and so forth. So this is extremely important, which I will really encourage you to do when you reach the almost the end of your research journey. Finally, step 3 is outlining and writing up. So again, something that students try to skip the outlining because they are very excited to start writing up their thesis or their dissertation. So outlining is to have a skeleton, what exactly you're going to write on. So we don't need to go into details. We just need to look to have a table of content type of skeleton. So briefly, bullet points that say what do you want to write in the introduction, what would you want sorry, introduction chapter, what would you want to write in the literature review chapter. You've read so many articles, what exactly, how do you group them under subsections and subsections and so on. What are you going to write in the methodology? Do you write about, or should you be writing about the methods or methodologies used in previous research and how it's connected to yours and so on. So we want an outline, you want an outline which gives you a direction, a sense of direction when you start writing up. And hence, finally, you write up your thesis where hopefully the build up towards write up will help you have a good focus on the end product of your thesis or dissertation and so on. Right, guys, so finally, the last slide, the literature review cycle. So how did it start? Or how do we proceed? So, you have a research topic, you have a research idea, you've been discussing with your lecturers, you've been reading about something which clicks, you've heard about something in the news, or you've read newspapers or articles, and something clicked, and you have a research idea, you have a research topic. Then what we do is we start reading about it. Very broad. We don't really have a good focus at that point. We just want to understand what's out there, what has been achieved, what has been researched on, what has been discovered, what is the current progress on the field, and so on. Then you will have a better idea about your own research. So you focus your research topic to a particular subtopic, like a proper focus. Where exactly do you want to take your own research to? Once you've decided, that's when you read a more concentrated or focused literature. So now you know exactly what not to read and what to read, right? And then the next step is you focus your research on further topics or subtopics, and then you come up with your research question. What exactly are you trying to achieve in your thesis or dissertation or project? You have a research question, and again you go back to your literature. You read about things that will answer your research questions. So you need to have a research, at least few research questions, one or two, depending on the level of study. And you will have aims and objectives, that are things which will help you answer those research questions. And then you read again. You read again too. So as you can see, we are funneling the literature here. We start on a broad scale, then the focus becomes more and more concentrated towards your research question. And finally, the research questions and objectives are answered through your project and your thesis. Right, that's the end of our workshop today. I'm available on this email here. This is my personal email, or you can send it to Semastel and I'll receive it there as well. And I'll be happy to discuss questions if you have any. So good luck, and please keep an eye on the third workshop coming up soon by either myself or Dr. Sweeta. Thank you very much.